My contribution, Madam Speaker, will be very short. Madam Speaker, if you examine this bill, how come it is not a money bill? In the memorandum, it has been set there, and it is said not to be a money bill.
Sorry, I can't hear you. Can you start again?
I am saying, if you look at this bill, how else can you explain that it is not a money bill? Money bill. If you check the memorandum, and if you check the statements that accompanying it, it is said not to be a money bill. But when you open it up, it creates centers. It talks about inspectors. These inspectors must be employed by somebody. These inspectors must be supervised or coordinated somewhere. These centers must be maintained by the public exchequer. And even when you open up those big premises of policy on protecting the child, definitely the child would have to be protected where there are functions which money follows. I am really sympathetic to the girl child. I really want to have a bill which fixes the issue of the girl child. But since this bicameral legislation process, we have had problems where good bills are lost because of the people who sponsor them or because of the thought process behind it. Were this bill originated from this house, from where my colleague sits, if she originated this bill, we wouldn't have been talking about this issue. We would have been talking about how to reinforce it and how to make it better on how to protect the girl child. But for some reason, members on the other house, they get into issues which they do not investigate very well. And this is a constitutional issue. We cannot do something about it. Article 114 happens to be a constitutional issue. Even when the emeritus lady and a very, she's a doyen of this legislation. But Honorable Emase will see the bill. In fact, she is the member of the Budget and Appropriation. Honorable Emase, please convince us that this is not a money bill. She is still consulting. But Honorable Emase, please don't mistake us. We are the fighters.
Emase, listen.
We are the fighters for the girl child. And we want girl child to be ring-fenced. Some of us are fathers of girls. But the problem we have in this legislation is that people begin to sponsor bills without looking at the Constitution. You see an inspector there. You see the care there. It is definitely going to use the taxpayers' money. So how can it be a bill outside Article 114? Just convince us and we pass this bill with a record time. But if you are unable, my colleague, please find a way of withdrawing this bill and reintroducing it here so that you do not go away. This thing is very important to a child. We cannot just use it on technicalities. There must be somehow of how we can pass this bill, Madam Speaker, so that the real issues of the child is protected. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Ruaraka, Honorable TJ Kajwang. I think you raise a very important